Hey, what's up? Mrparka here to do another review. The movie I'll be reviewing is a Sub Rosa Studios film again, sent to me by MVD a while back, and it also is a Brian Hirschbine film. He did Black Ice, Synchronicity, and Tapeworm, which I have reviews of for my station. The last one is God's Memoirs by him. It was, I believe, his first out of the bunch films that he directed, and it is indeed a lot like Synchronicity in the bizarre sense. Not so much comical at all. Very insane type film with an insane lead. Basically, he is saying his thoughts and rants about God, and they reflect his childhood where he felt betrayed and basically abandoned, is what he's saying. And he basically talks about God and all the situations with God and everything, about how people believe in God, about how creating a new God, and basically eventually you get the gist of it that he's trying to create a new God, basically, with parts of other people. Very strange. There's some pretty crazy highlight scenes in here, hence when he takes ovaries from a woman, puts them in a blender, jerks off in it, and liquefies it, and puts it in the creation's heart. And now, it does sound a bit like Frankenstein there, but don't get it wrong. It's nothing like Frankenstein. It is a trippy, weird type deal, with a lot of dialogue and insanity, and some pretty decent gore and some torture slaughter scenes. I thought this was my least favorite of all his films, but that's not a bad thing because all his movies are good. I thought God's Memoirs, it was 2 hours long, which is kind of a long runtime, and there's a lot of dialogue, and it seemed like the actor, I believe it was intentional, he seemed almost like reciting it, but he had like a book, God's Memoirs and stuff, and it would go through like passages in the Bible, Genesis and stuff like that, would be like the opening parts and everything, and I believe that he was basically reciting his thoughts, the character's thoughts about God and everything. Basically, sometimes even reading the book. There's a lot of good points made about how people think, and it can be very thought-provoking, especially for someone who would be very religious. It might be offensive. Me, on the other hand, I might have been left a few tracks back because I'm not very religious, and honestly, I don't know much about the Bible. I mean, you know, the gist of it, but I've never actually sat down and read it several times, and you know how other people know, stuff like that. So, you know, some of it probably was like, right over my head. I do understand the feeling of betrayal and abandonment in the Garden of Eden, a lot of the stuff he says, but it's just a very bizarre film, and it's kind of strange watching his past as his mother gets murdered. Is a very insane scene, and his father does it in front of his eyes, and you see him and attempts to kill him and everything, and it's kind of cool because the actor has scars over his body, so I think real scars because he has them in all the films. But anyways, at one point the father screams, I just wanted you to love me, and it kind of foreshadows at the end when he tries to create his God, and he's hugging the lifeless, disgusting, whatever it is that he created, saying, I just wanted you to love me, I just wanted you to love me. I thought that was pretty cool. But you gotta have patience with this type of film. I mean, there's a lot to look at, but sometimes the scenes are very slow, but it's a lot to comprehend as well. I mean, it's more of you need to pay attention to what they're saying, and it's a lot of strange stuff and big words and stuff, and you know, you have to kind of concentrate a lot, and it's a lot of dialogue, so if you wouldn't like that, I would steer clear. But it is very experimental and insane, and actually pretty cool in the sense. I really liked Synchronicity. I thought that was the best one, but this one I thought was pretty cool too. If you like his other films, you got to check this one out, because there's not many directors out there making stuff like this, just this strange artsy type gore stuff. It's very, like I said, kind of a one-of-a-kind flick too, in the sense. It stars the same lead from all the other films, from Tapeworm and Synchronicity. He also has a small part in Black Ice, but he's his lead in this one, and the guy must smoke at least 360 cigarettes while filming. It was ridiculous. The DVD comes with an interview with the director, some deleted scenes, a blooper reel, you know, the cool stuff. It's a pretty nice edition of the DVD. If you like the flick, you should grab it. It is The God's Memoirs by Brian Hirschbine. Nice little experimental gore film. I'll show some gore or something like that. I'll maybe show one of his rants, one of his what would you say, his outlook on stuff. But thank you for watching, and have a good one. Bye.
Individuals who have had these rare chance meetings with God describe the experience as disorienting and confusing. They experience a blindness as their perception becomes flooded with a magnificent light. I credit this to an incongruency between expectations and actual perception, an error in the system of cognition that causes the mind to short. What could create such a fatal response? The truth that God, like man, is ugly? To protect the paradigms and social structures that have shaped our existence, we cope. And what could be more beautiful than light, the natural phenomena that saves us from our instinctual fear of the dark? God's face cannot be looked upon, as it has no beginning and no end. It is in essence endless. One face flows into the next, while being a part of the one that preceded it. Warned of this when Judas betrayed Jesus. A man did not betray God. A man betrayed another man in the illusion of godliness. Betrayal was dubbed the greatest sin as it threatened the paradigm of existence. But Judas was forgiven because it was the truth. This brings us back to the concept of insight. A moment of clarity would have led Judas to believe he himself was righteous for exposing this hoax. However, insight led Judas to feel responsible. Not for the death of Christ, as many would believe, but responsible for life itself and his part in the new structuring of it. 30 pieces of silver only buys so much rope. With a bit more, I'm sure Judas would have hung the whole world with him.